Boywithuke. If you haven't been living under a rock for the past few years, the name probably rings a bell, and you've probably also heard this song.
All my friends are toxic, all ambition is so rude and always negative.
Boywithuke is now well established and in my opinion has pioneered a genre which I've labelled Uke Pop. However, he wasn't always this way and started off as a bedroom artist with a small audience. To give this video some structure, I've split Boywithuke's albums into three categories: new, old and in between. When referring to new, I mean more produced songs with bass and are generally newer songs. When referring to old songs, I mean less produced songs with a lack of bass and are generally just older songs. The first two albums, Melatonin Dreams and Fever Dreams, fall into the new category, and his latest album goes in new. Serotonin Dreams gets split up. Prairies and I Don't Give a F go in new, She Said No in between, and Heart of Ice, Far Away, Long Drives, Scared of the Dark, Let Me Down, Contigo, and Toxic go in old. Let's take a look at the old category first to see how his music's progressed over time. But before that, I have a new song coming out. It should be out by the time you're watching this, and I'd really appreciate it if you go and check it out. Top link in description, and yeah, I've been working for a while on it, so I'd really appreciate that. And anyway, leave a like and let's get into Melatonin Dreams. This album is very special to me, as before learning guitar, I started with the ukulele, so a lot of these songs were how I learned. You can tell that he's still developing musically, and the lack of bass gives the songs a lonely feel. For example, in I Won't Let You Go, drums come in but there's never any form of bass.
Where do we go in the middle of June?
Boywithuke's use of vocals is subtle yet clever. There's a lot of double tracking going on, which if you don't know is where the singer does two of the same lead vocal and it gives a more supported sound to the lead vocal. Fever Dreams is probably my favourite Boywithuke album. Let's go through it. 2 Moons, the song that first blew up for Boywithuke. And it still remains in his top 5 on Spotify with 186 million streams. Psycho, the first song I learnt on the uke, nice chorus.
They tell me I should go. They say I have no.
Out of Tune, he raps about Minecraft, so this is obviously an epic gamer song.
Back the snowman that I built in winter towns in Minecraft. The peak goes up down. I'm thinking about the times that I had.
Shy, he speaks Spanish in this.
Hi, hello, I'm quite a shy fellow. Yo no recuerdo palabras cuando estoy contigo.
And it has a really nice synthy sounding thing. Just realised that this section is probably going to be quite boring if I keep going through the album, so I'll spare you of that. But I'd like you to notice a few key elements of Boywithuke. The first key element of Boywithuke is obviously the ukulele. I mean, it is a core part of not only his brand, but his music as well. And I think they maybe slightly regrets defining himself in that way from the very beginning. But still, at the end of the day, that is how he blew up, and that's a core part of his identity. The other two slightly less obvious key elements of Boywithuke for me are his use of vocals, so the way he almost uses his voice as an instrument. So he'll just have vocal lines that, you know, they could be a synth, they could be a piano, but in this case he's doing it with a vocal instead, and that's really nice, and he'll layer them up, and it's just quite interesting the way he uses his voice. The third and final element is the whistle. He likes to whistle in quite a few tracks. We'll see a bit later on, I'll give an example of what he does, but it's just another part that defines this genre that we're building around, because at the end of this video I'm going to try and make a song in that genre and walk you through how I've made that song. So stick around for that. But yeah, in total, Boywithuke has 4 studio albums. However, you can kind of tell when he starts to take off, as Serotonin Dreams is a major step up in production compared to the previous 2 albums. One of the singles of this album was Toxic, which was Boywithuke's main breakout hit. If you're on TikTok at all at this time, it was unavoidable. This song was and is massive. The concept of a song about love or romantic interest has been done to death, probably because love is one of the strongest emotions that almost everyone experiences in some form. With Toxic, however, it's about toxic friends, which is quite a relatable idea, yet not overdone. I'm just going to identify the key elements labelled previously in Serotonin Dreams to try and highlight what I mean. The ukulele is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to give you an example for that. You can find it yourself, sorry. But for the vocals, the first example is in Far Away, where he does a melody and he goes da 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 whatever, and he just sings it when it could be, you know, anything else. He could play that on something, but no, he chooses to sing it, and it's just interesting. A more subtle example of the voice as well is in She Said No. He does lots of oohs and ahs, not oohs and ahs. There's just one main one in the chorus that pads it out a little bit, although I still think it's quite thin.
She said no.
And then finally, the whistle in Long Drives is a pretty major thing.
These long drives sitting in the backseat, thinking about that.
Also, I haven't included all of his EPs as well. He's got loads of other songs that aren't on the main albums, like Animal Crackers and stuff. I love those songs. Another whistle one, I don't think Out of Reach was on his latest album, and I really like that song. And that's got a whistle in it, you can hear here. And yeah, it's just another thing that helps shape this kind of unique sounding artist. I haven't heard anyone who sounds like this. I've heard people try to sound like him, but yeah, I think he's really defined his own sound, which is great. The thing that actually pushed me to make this video in the first place was Lucid Dreams, Boywithuke's latest studio album, as it really surprised me. For all the praise that I've given to Boywithuke, after Serotonin Dreams, I thought his music was becoming slightly repetitive and one-dimensional. And this wasn't an invalid feeling. I mean, just listen to this medley of Boywithuke songs using only one chord progression. So this is the chord progression. Yeah, I'm playing it in C, but because all the songs will have been in different keys, but yeah. Then she took my coat cause it was cold, and we took pictures with her phone. She left a Polaroid at home. I texted all my friends cause I didn't give a fuck about you no more. Give me back my hoodies, I'm kicking down doors. You weren't even pretty looking back, and I'm sure you still miss me, that's so funny. Ayo, ayo, she'll never know, how can I get her out of my dreams? Ayo, ayo, cause I'm not the bold, how can she be so beautiful, far to reach? I can't love because of you, you fucked me up and put me out of tune. Do my best to faith that I'm good. So yeah, Boywithuke was following this progression for me, just these same sounding songs that were just coming out, and his new ones were also similar to that. And then I kind of wrote it off. I was like, right, well, he's kind of done. I've enjoyed him for a year. Because I only listened to Boywithuke for about a year. That's not an exaggeration. I tried to find my Spotify rap when making this video, but I couldn't find it. But he was my top artist by far. Yeah, and then I wrote him off because I was like, well, you know, he's been good, but he's just making stuff that I'm not really interested in. And then, like, a month ago, I listened to Lucid Dreams all the way through. And I was stunned. I was so impressed because I was like, he's doing so much and he's still innovating and he's still making completely new things. It was like a whole new artist for me. Obviously the voice is the same, but yeah, so let's get into Lucid Dreams. So just looking at Migraine, we get to the chorus, we've got multiple vocals for the lead, we've got an extra vocal line, and we've also got a bass, which is, you know, part of this part of this era. So yeah, that's pretty nice.
Up off the highway, I've been having migraines, I've been waiting for what I have in my way.
But to look in specific, because probably the most famous songs off this album are Blue, Rockstar, and Before I Die and Trauma, probably. I think those were the singles. But for me, my favourite song on this album is Bad Things. I love it so much. So if we just have a listen to that now. So it starts with a ukulele, using that to be more, I guess, music theory. To bring more music theory into it. The major 3 is the chord that Boywithuke often uses and that I associate with him a lot. So that's in this progression.
Oh shit, here we go again. It's the same old lie, same instrument lie.
It's got his voice double tracks nice at the start, so just him and a uke, as many of his songs, and then the progression switches up a bit, and you get a bass coming, and this song builds, and I don't know, something about the vocal that just seems real. He seems to feel it, and also there's a few lines that I think show that he's not discontent with how he's labelled himself, but it's one of the first lines. Oh shit, here we go again. It's the same old lies, same instrument. So there we go. I think there's another line about doing this same thing on the chord progression as well in another song. The song builds. It just keeps going up, and he gets more frantic, and I feel his voice. I believe him, which is a really important thing. I've said before about James Marriott, I think, and Don't Blame Me, I said. Go watch that video. No, I don't think it's a great video. Don't watch that video. But yeah, and then you just get completely sucked in, and then these massive drums come in. Like, these drums are humongous, and I love them so much.
So full of rage, so full of shit.
And you've got like a voice going like a kind of, it's kind of like an EDM drop almost. That's what it reminds me of. He's definitely got elements of that with his massive synth basses as well, because he's just discovered the bass. Well, not literally, but I like to think that he's just kind of been like, oh my god, there's a frequency that I haven't been in at all apart from the kick drum. So yeah, I love this song though. I love it, as he says in the song. But yeah, it's a really good song. It's a really good album. And yeah, you should go listen to it. And my new song Slashes, which has just come out. Anyway, now we are going to finish this video, and I'm going to write a Boywithuke song. And I'm going to take you through the process, which I will record tomorrow. So yeah, I will cut to then. Hi, this is probably a terrible angle, and I'm in my school uniform, so gonna probably get rid of that in the edit, but this is me documenting my progress for the uke song. I came up with this riff last night on guitar, and I'm putting it on the uke. It's like this. Play it slowly. Okay, so I've been recording for about half an hour now, and I've got a little chorus down. No bass yet. I'm about to add other things other than ukes, but I've got a beat and some uke, but it doesn't sound great, so here's how it sounds now. Once again, a terrible vlog. Once again, a terrible vlog, but I've just finished all the MIDI, so now I'm moving on, and the ukes as well. So I'm just moving on to the vocals now and getting that set up, and we'll see where that takes us. As I've said many times, Boywithuke likes to use his voice as a vocal line, so I've tried to come up with something like that. Here's it harmonised. I haven't tuned most of it, just a few notes where I was very off, but it's sounding okay, and then I just need to do a bit of mixing to make it blend more in the background, and then